Right. Activity book, page 75. Writing tip, it says at the top. That's a tip, can mean a tip that people, you give in a restaurant. You give a tip to the waitress or something for good service, a little bit of money. But a tip can also be speaking, giving advice, ideas what to do. So writing tip, like a writing idea. And you can see in the picture a man who's, and that's the farmer, isn't it? Who says, "The Benson family picked the olives for me. It isn't an easy job." And to the right of the picture, you can see "The Benson family picked the olives for me," he said. "It isn't an easy job." Right, I will open the screen now just because it's easier to explain than to have it closed. Scooby-Doo. Right. So here you can see him speaking in this, what we call a speech bubble. Speech means to speak, a speech bubble. And here we have speaking, but it shows in these double apostrophes, looks like, and they are called speech marks. All right. So we have speech marks here, and we have a speech bubble here, which you see usually where there's a picture. But if there's no picture, it's the speech marks. Okay, so color pencil, speech marks. Circle the speech marks in number 1 and number 2. Do that now. Speech marks. Circle them with a color pencil. And then circle the speech marks in the sentences in number 1 and number 2. Okay. Find them, circle them with a color pencil, any color you like. Like this, okay? Kerry said there's a speech mark. So that means, speech mark means that Kerry starts to speak now. Mike was very excited because he's, that is speaking, bored of the beach holidays, and the speech marks to end the talking. So you have speech marks at the beginning of when someone starts talking, and then speech marks again at the end when they've stopped talking, when they've finished.
Teacher Cameron,
Yes?
may
Yes?
I go to the toilet, please?
Yes, sure. Who? Who is I? Set. Okay, Set. Yep. Okay. That's a good student. That's a nice and polite student, isn't it? Not turning on the microphone to make noises. Using the microphone to be polite. Superb. Right. And here you have starts with the speaking, so start with the exclamation marks. We saw some interesting places, and then stop speaking. Emily said, or said Emily, and then start speaking again. But the best part of the holiday was being on the farm. Right, so make that smaller now. There we go. So you should have these speech marks circled with a color pencil in your book. Now, when you're reading, like when you're reading a story or something, or you're reading a book, I know you don't read aloud, you usually just read in your mind. But when you read with speech marks, you try to imagine the person talking. So you read like they are talking, okay? So it goes something like this. So you would not read, Kerry said Mike was very excited. Kerry said Mike was very excited. No, you say, Kerry said, and then you stop there. Kerry said Mike was very excited because he's bored of beach holidays. All right, you separate. And here, again, when it stops talking and when it starts talking again. We saw some interesting places, said Emily, but the best part of the holiday was being on the farm. So this said Emily, I say a little bit softer, you know, like quieter, not I tone down a bit so that you can hear the difference between the person speaking or me speaking. Again, I'd say, we saw some interesting places, said Emily, but the best part of the holiday was being on the farm. All right. So, again, speech marks used in text, you know, like in a book with no pictures, and speech bubbles used in things like comic strips where you have different pictures and you see a picture of the person who's speaking, then usually this little tail thing here comes from the mouth. You sometimes, but not always, but it comes from the picture, so you know that this person is speaking. So it doesn't have speech marks. Right. Part 2. Read and write the sentences in the speech bubbles. So here you have the speech marks, and here you have a speech bubble with a picture. Yeah, there we go. So, speech marks, it was a great holiday, said Mr. Benson. This does not, said Mr. Benson, does not go into the speech bubble, does it? Only this between the speech marks goes into a speech bubble. It was a great holiday. And then we can see him speaking, so we don't have said Mr. Benson. So, you can do that here. Okay? Everybody, do that now. Okay, write your answers. Don't forget to use the 2 lines. Don't try to push everything onto one line. If you get near the end of the line, go down to the next line. Okay, try to do that yourselves now. Do that in your books. And I'll try to, Teacher Cam will try to think of something, the Christmas worksheet or something for Wednesday, okay? On Wednesday, I'll try to do something, Christmas worksheet or something. I will try. I will try. That means I'll have to go to school to get things. Right. So we'll call this Mark's bubble. Speech marks, speech bubble. Speech marks, speech bubble. Number 1. Can somebody read speech marks? Number 1.
Teacher, read only in speech mark.
I was. You're a good girl. I was thinking exactly the same myself. I was thinking, now the student's not sure. The student's not sure whether to just read this or to read all of it. Okay, so I'll do number 1, right? So number 1, read the speech marks. I say, "It was a great holiday," said Mr. Benson. Speech bubble. It was a great holiday. So again, if I say speech marks, we read, "It was a great holiday," said Mr. Benson. Speech bubble. It was a great holiday. Understand, Naman? So okay. So Naman, can you do number 2? Instead of saying speech mark, I say all of this.
Tim said it was very hot in Spain. We had ice cream every day.
Correct. That's exactly how it should be. Good. Now, can another student read what you have in the speech bubble?
Set.
Okay, set.
The cottage and the swimming pool.
Oh, no. Number 2. What goes into the speech bubble of number 2?
It was very hot in Spain. We had ice cream every day.
Okay, good. So there I have it. It was very hot in Spain. We had ice cream every day. Okay, so you don't have any speech marks here because it's in a speech bubble with the picture. Right. Remember, students, to be careful with your writing. You start with the capital letter at the left of the line. You have small gaps in the words, not big and small, all the same size. Gaps means the might it gun, yeah. Spain, a capital S. It's the name of a country. Names have capital letters, end with a full stop. After a full stop, we start with a capital letter again because it's a new sentence. Small gaps in the words, all the letters the same size, not big and then small. Try to get them all the same. And then end with a full stop. And remember, full stops, there is no gap. Okay, it's dit gun. Right. Who's reading the first part of number 3?
Tul.
Yes, Tul, go.
Mr. Benson said the cottage and the swimming pool were fantastic.
Good boy. But MRS is not Mr., that is Mrs. Mrs, okay?
Mrs.
Yeah, Mrs. MR is Mr., but MRS is Mrs. Although it doesn't look like a Mrs. in the picture, does it? It looks like a Mister. Is that a Mrs.? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Mrs., but in the picture, oh,
Is that Mr.?
yeah, it looks like a Mister, doesn't it? Okay, right. So, what goes in the speech bubble? Who's next?
หนูดี
Nudi, good.
The content and the swimming pool were fantastic.
Good. Cottage. Okay, this word we say cottage. Edge. The age at the end we say edge. Cottage. Cottage. It has an edge sound to it. Cottage. It's like the name of the town where I come from in England. If I write the name of the town where I come from in England, let's see if you can. Let's see if you can. Let's see if you can say this. See up here? That's the name of the town where I come from. Who can read this? Who can say this word?
Vantage.
Wantage. Wantage. Yeah, it sounds like it spells like this, but it sounds like one tid. It sounds like that. Wantage. 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 But it's wantage. That's the town I come from in England. Yeah. Right. Number 4, speech marks. Who's reading? Tun, yeah? Yes, Tun?
I
Oh,
love
not
all the farm animals. Said Emily.
Said Emily, yeah. I loved all the farm animals, said Emily. And speech bubble, somebody, the speech bubble, number 4. Number 4, speech bubble. No? Naman, read the speech bubble, please.
I loved all the farm animals.
Good. So I think that's easy to do on one line, but maybe you did it on 2 lines. It doesn't matter. Right. And then, as we move on down, oh, I'm going to have to make this bigger, otherwise some students just start copying. I don't want that, do I? Don't want that, don't want that. Look and write the speech marks. We stayed in a tent. Speech bubbles. You see a picture, you have Bill here. This is not a speech bubble because it doesn't have this little tail thing. Bill, Brian and Bob talking. So this means Bill says, We stayed in a tent, and Bob says it rained every day. Oh, Brian does speak. He says, next year I want to stay in a hotel. So that's what those three are saying. So, to the right of the picture, you have the text, color pencil, and draw the speech marks. The double apostrophes. Maybe I'll show you there, like that, okay? We stayed in a tent. Finish. Start speaking, finish speaking. Said Bill. You do the same for numbers 2 and 3. Put in the speech marks. I would use a color pencil so that you can see them better. Usually we don't use a color pencil, but just for this exercise, use a color pencil because that's what we're talking about. So I'll just give you a few minutes to finish that, or a minute. Maybe he can. There. He can sit in front of the camera.
Good morning, Santa.
Morning. There he is. Hey.
Oh, this is. Oh, no, this is. Samu.
Easy.
I want some present. Are you okay, Santa?
I'm okay.
I
I'm fine.
I see someone behind.
I feel a little bit hot.
Oh. Hold your clothes right?
Santa is cute.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so make this smaller again now so you can all check. Okay, then you can check your answers. You have that correct. These are where you should have the speech marks. Not this said Bill, said Bob, Brian said. Right. Who's speaking today? Namon, Tul, and Nudi. Right.
Set.
Right.
Set.
So right. Namon, you are right. Namon, Tul, and Nudi first. Namon, Tul, Nudi. So, Tul, you are Bill. Namon, you are Brian. And Nudi is Bob. Go.
We stay in a tent.
Bob next.
It rain every day.
Namon.
Next year, I want to stay in a hotel.
Yay! That's like a little role play, isn't it? Good. So that's how we do it. Right. Let's try again then. Who's Bill? This time, Set, you are Brian. Okay, Brian is Set. Who is Bill?
Kun.
Kun. Yep, Kun is Bill. Brian is Set. Who is Bob?
Nam King. I think
Nam King. Okay, Nam King is Bob. Okay, Bill starts.
We stay in a tent.
Bob next.
And every day.
Brian. Set. Come on. Oh, that didn't go very well, did it?
Next year, I
One.
want to stay in a hotel.
Good. Next year, I want to stay in a hotel. So you've got to imagine them talking. He says, we stayed in a tent. And then it rained every day. Not very happy, are you, if it rains every day? Next year, I want to stay in a hotel. So if this was in England, it rains a lot and gets very, very cold.
Oh, teacher.
So
Yesterday I sleep in the Today is very cold.
oh, it's not very cold. It's cool. It's cool. Yes, it is. It is cool.
No cool, teacher. No cool.
Yeah.
Cold.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. For Thailand, it is quite cold. Yeah, but this would be like a summer day in England. The weather here today, it's sunny, and you can wear t-shirt, but in England now it's so cold. Oh, people, you can't wear a t-shirt. You have to wear a jumper, or you wear a coat if you go outside, because it's really, really, really cold. How many degrees is it now? Tul, what's the temperature?
In Google, I see 22
Degrees.
degrees Celsius.
Oh wow, well done, very good. That was good.
In Google.
Yeah. What's the temperature in England then, Namon? Can you Google that? If it's 22 degrees Celsius in Thailand, what's England? Can you see that in Google? I don't know. Oh, that's a nice picture. Who's this? Number 38. That's a nice picture, isn't it?
Today on London is 7 degrees.
7. There you go. 22 in Thailand, 7 in England, in London. So
In England, London.
yeah, London in England. So that's really, really cold, isn't it? Ooh. Okay. Right. So that's all we're doing for today.
Today at Nakhon Sima is 22.
Yeah, 22. So, Tul, believe me, that's not cold, it's cool. You won't get snow. All right, students, well done for today. That was a good class. You can still send me pictures if you want. Your worksheet about a picnic or something, and Wednesday I will try to find something Christmas to do. All right. So have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Good
ให้
day.
รู้จักไอศกรีมที่ชื่อว่าไวเตดด้วย